My name is Antonella Vagliente. I am Director of Young Water Solutions. I'm originally from Argentina, but now living in Belgium.
Do you have a role model or a mentor that's someone who inspired you?
The one that has been a constant has been my father, Pablo. He's one of the directors of Avina Foundation. He was the one that first introduced me to, when I was a teenager, to water and encouraged me to join a youth NGO at the time when I was 15 years old.
Young Water Solutions, you're the co-founder and the director of this quite amazing initiative. So what made you start it? What did it take to get started? How was that ride? How was that whole experience?
We started Young Water Solutions in 2015. Most of the co-founders we met through the World Youth Parliament for Water. And we shared this vision that in the water sector, there was a lot of talk about youth empowerment and youth and how to engage youth, but there were very little tools, very little support provided to young entrepreneurs, to young professionals who had solutions in mind they wanted to implement, supporting the communities where they grew up or where they live or communities in their country. So we started Young Water Solutions with that mission of empowering young people to contribute to the solution of water and sanitation challenges, and that way contributing to SDG 6. And yes, it's been a ride, because we started, just with a mission in mind, but without knowing exactly which shape that would take.
What's a high and what's a low that's happened during this journey for you?
Every edition of our fellowship is a high, and we get to see how far our entrepreneurs go, right? I mean, they came to us with an idea, maybe a prototype, nothing more, but then they are able to support with the solution to, like many communities, sometimes thousands of people. That's always a high. And lows, I think that, the first years, especially of the program and the Young Water Solutions as an organization, it was always very challenging to take that decision of growing without having all the certainties about the support. For example, the first contract with SEC, we had to get all the co-funding, right? So we were signing and committing ourselves for a 3-year contract, and without knowing whether we would, get all the co-funding support that we needed.
So this is a job you created, and that's one way to get a job. So what are the tips that you give for your peers that are looking for jobs?
I think that's something very important before anyone starts looking for a job, is to know yourself and understand in which kind of environment you thrive.
So what's the biggest challenge that you've had in your career to date, and how did you overcome that?
If it was a challenge or it's just a very tough decision to make, was when I had to decide whether I would stay in Argentina and work from there or leave. What I decided back then was just to follow my gut feeling of, the next move. The next move was to go on this backpacking experience, and that then led me to study in Australia, that led me to start, joining Young Water Solutions co-founding team, that led me to meeting my husband, which is a co-founder as well, which led me to coming to Belgium and working from here in the global south, right, but from Belgium, which is what feels right at the moment. But it was a tough decision.
What advice would you give to senior water professionals to help them be better able to help those new to the water and sanitation field succeed?
I think that to be able to connect better to young professionals and give meaningful advice, they need to do it from considering young people actually as valuable, as not a blank page, right? I mean, each young professional comes from a different background with experiences that shape the skills that they have and the contribution they can make, regardless of how much theoretical knowledge and practical knowledge they have, and as part of their career in the water sector. I don't know. For example, I have friends who have studied engineering, water engineering, having come from a developing country where they were fetching water for their family, right? And even if, like a senior professional can look at them and say, okay, this is just a starting engineer, right? Knows nothing about, like how things work. But this person has, a field experience that is a lot higher than the senior professional that has always worked from the academia, for example. Right?
Our next interviewee is Aaron Wolf from Oregon State University. So what's the question you would like to ask him?
I would ask him what advice he would give to a young professional who is starting, trying to develop his or her career in the water sector, but being in a conflict area, in a country where there's a lot of conflict. What advice would he give?
Well, Antonella, thank you very much for this. It's been really, really great.
Thank you, Josh. I've also enjoyed it a lot. And I also want to thank you not only for this interview opportunity and this podcast, but also for your contributions to everyone's careers in the water sector. I don't know anyone who has been in the water sector for a significant amount of time and got jobs without looking at Josh got a job. So thank you for that as well.